Hey viewers, my name's Kara. We are back! Finally, this is the first time I've gotten a chance to record in weeks. We are back playing Barrow Hill, Curse of the Ancient Circle. This is the first Barrow Hill game. We are going to be playing the second Barrow Hill game, but we have to finish our playthrough of this one first. Hopefully I might sound a little bit closer to the microphone today because I am. My microphone has a very short cord and it usually sits on the back of the laptop, but I have it on my tripod, which is why you can actually see it in the frame now, so it's a little bit closer to me. However, I do mostly face this direction. The cord is not long enough for it to go in front of me here. So we're just testing this out to see if it can be just a little bit better for folks. And I have a to-do list for part 3 of the game because I can't believe there are some things that I didn't do in part 2. We have some areas that we need to visit. We have, obviously, like the whole endgame situation that we need to do. But there are areas that we could have visited earlier that I just haven't visited yet, which is weird because I've played this game multiple times and I never would have waited this long to go back to Anneka's well, for example. So I have a bowl of popcorn ready. Maybe you want to get one as well, but I've got mine here for in between. And some juice. We've got the earbuds in. We're ready to go. And to-do list is we have to go into the office. We haven't been in the office yet. We have to go into Motel Room 1. I don't think we have the code to Motel Room 1 yet. Actually, I have to move my incense burner and get my notes. No, we do not have the code for room 1 yet in this playthrough, so we have to get that. I have my little notes on a sticky note here. We have to go to Anneka's well. We could have done that way earlier. We could have done that as soon as we got the lamp, the light in part 1, but we just haven't done it yet. That's so weird. We have to go back to the ruins in the swamp. We have to actually go to the Barrow. We haven't been to the Barrow or the dig site yet at all. And then, of course, we have to read the rest of Pete's journal and the reports in Conrad's briefcase, which are things that I briefly went over in part 1 or part 2. I think we did both of those in part 2. And I mentioned that we were just going to save them till the end because we have to read everything anyway. So let's go do that. All right, so here we are where we left off in part 2. We are outside the Winnebago. Okay, ominous. Ominous to begin with. Let's go in. Have we done this yet? Okay, so we put this together, but we haven't gotten... I'm going to turn the sound down just a little bit, the game sound. We don't have batteries yet, but we did go through all this. Yes, I remember we looked at the stuff on the laptop. I have done that. So why were we just here? I guess just because this is the last thing we did, so why not? So, can we do... No. We have to come back to the ruins later because we need that metal detector. So, let's go back up. I was trying to see if you could hear it if I was eating popcorn, if it was like crunching. And it looks like you can hear it, so... Not always. I'll be quiet about it, but I needed a snack. I wasn't expecting to be able to record tonight at all. This is the first time I've gotten a chance to record in weeks. Because it has to be quiet enough in the surrounding area. I don't have, like, good soundproofing or anything. And if people are talking in the house or if they're watching TV in the next room, I have recorded other things and I have heard it in the background, so I know that it's distracting. So I can pretty much only record when the house is totally quiet, and I wasn't expecting to have that quiet tonight, but people went to bed earlier than I expected. It's midnight, and I'm still awake enough, so let's do it. Where do we want to go? Let's go to Anneka's well, because I cannot believe that we haven't gone back there yet. That is wild. Alright. Right here. Because I remember pointing out this here is one of the reasons why... Oh, also, I don't remember if I had this turned on in part 2, but there's a setting where you can toggle on or off having inventory descriptions. So now you can see down at the bottom that when I hover over things in my inventory, it says what it is. It tells you what the item is, and that can be helpful. There's also a menu up at the top where we have our mobile phone, PDA, a fungus guide, and we have a bunch of little stuff down here. So our lantern. I pointed out that this thing is here, and you would never know it if you didn't like look at every 90-degree angle. But we can't do anything else with that yet. We still need something else. But we can see it, and we can go in here. This is one of my favorite places in the whole game. I can't believe we haven't come back in here yet. So we gotta look to every side, as usual. It's kind of an interesting shape in the stone there. I've never really noticed before. There's a bunch of little hidden things all the time. And I don't recall anything specific over here, but I thought, let's just look, just in case I've always missed something. Oh, it's the exact same stones on this side as the other side. That can be a little disorienting. But here we have a tin, classic, the tin, with the guest book in it. Oh, I was not prepared to do whatever kind of accent I've been doing right now. I wasn't thinking about that, but we're going to be doing a lot of reading in this part, so... Welcome, one and all, to the Well of St. Anneka, a place of magic and spirituality. Enjoy your time here in this place and leave your messages in this book, Elsie Prestige. I don't know how Elsie talks. And we don't know where any of these people are from, who they are. They could have any kind of accent. I'm just going to read them. What a splendid little place, hidden away from the world. You can almost step back in time. Such a restful place. We feel refreshed by the waters. Sue and Alan. This is lovely. You can really get away from the hustle and bustle of the world and feel the natural energy flowing. We followed a ley line to this place along the stone row, not knowing what we were going to find when we stepped inside this wonderful place. Margaret and Betty. What a fantastic well, in quotation marks for some reason. You'd never guess that such a wonderful sight could have survived the passing centuries. It survived mankind's destructive nature. It has not lost its pagan roots. Signed, John Mulgrew. How fabulous. I shall have to tell people about this on the radio. Must have been passed many hundreds of times, but have only just stopped to find out what it was. Don't forget to listen in to your local radio station, Barrow Hill Radio 15.3. Emma Harry. Emma's one of the only voices we actually hear in the game. What a lovely place to stop off on our trip. It's been a delightful break here in Cornwall. There are so many interesting places to visit. We really enjoyed the stone circle at the top of the hill. We will come back when we are in the area. Oscar and Kate. Oh, I already forgot what voice I did for Elsie. Anyway, just kind of like a little more tranquil. I come here to meditate. The mind is clear of hassle and trouble thanks to this sacred place. It is good to read that others have been enjoying the well and the tranquil serenity of the atmosphere within. Today, I light a purple candle to refresh my inner soul and energy levels. Elsie Prestige. Hello, Elsie. What a good idea to leave a notebook in here. I always feel relaxed and peaceful with the gentle sound that echoes around the main chamber. Maggie. Oh, Maggie works at the service station. And then we have a little image of sort of Gundestrup Cauldron vibes. A couple of figures from the Gundestrup Cauldron. I feel this place has been here since ancient times. It goes way back. I hear a voice in my mind telling me the tales from the natural residual energy. I'm sensing a presence both in the ether and in the fabric of the building. I hear a boy with a drum. He speaks his name to me. Jimmy Finnegan. Another name forms in my mind. It is Henry. Derek and Sam. This place is dark, wet, and dirty. Why anybody would want to stay in this cold place is a mystery to me. Nutters. Carol. Carol also works at the service station. What a fascinating place. If only the main space were not flooded, I'd venture further inside. Like so many wells around Cornwall, this one must have interesting legends which hark back to its origins. I shall have to learn more about this legend of St. Anneka. Pete Aston. Who's this? This is Elsie. I visit the shrine as my grandmother showed me and as her father showed her. It is the time of year to make the water blessing at the circle, but first I must collect the sacred waters. I've begun the ritual of the water blessing, honoring Anneka by energizing her elements as told in the legend immortalized in stone. For Anneka is of the air and descended to us upon the ground. We are humbled by her presence. She enters our lives to revitalize our soul with her adventurous and graceful spirit. She is grateful for the blessing and the waters that trickle from the shrine. They are energized by Anneka's spirit. The blessed water, there is nothing so pure. I collect my blessing and have thanked Saint Anneka. Now I shall begin the journey up the hill, through the woodland, following the ancient track, and shall place the water blessing onto the Henrik stone, just as my grandmother showed me long ago. I honor the stone guardians who watch over the barrow. It is the resting place. The offering will remind the ancients that we have not forgotten the old ways. Elsie Prestige. So, we've learned something here. Not only that Carol's a bit of a stick in the mud, and a lot of tourists like the place. Oh, I guess it is kind of flooded. You know, I've always wondered why Pete said, like, I would venture further if it wasn't flooded. Because there isn't really anywhere else to venture to. But it is flooded right there, I guess, technically. But there's just like that, and then there's that. That goes back out where we just were, like the little vestibule. So yeah, I guess there's little puddles here, like it is technically flooded. But there isn't anywhere else to go. Unless maybe this has like fallen in or grown in and there used to be a way to get through here. But Pete Aston's only been here for a few months. I don't know. Anyway, see, there's cool little... There's faces. Drawings and etchings. Very cool, very cool. Let's go across the way here. We need something for here. Which actually... Hang on. Little thing down here. So we need something for here. And we actually have it. We have an item here that looks kind of like this weird discoloration in the stone. So it kind of looks like it goes there, right? It kind of matches. Wow, that sound lasts longer than you would think it would. This little door has now opened up. There we go, and we have more of that artwork on the box. Let's appreciate this music design. And we open up the box and we have... Oh, the music starts again. Okay, we have this, some music notes, and images. We have a standing stone with a hole in the top of it, and there's somebody standing there holding something. It's like shining through the stone. Then we have another standing stone with a handprint on it, and the person is standing there with their hand outstretched toward it. We have sort of medieval-looking calligraphy scroll, which says, "By the great lords the land is alive. I feel its heart pounding ever stronger. That which must not be woken is stirring. The great sleep will soon be over. It will need assurance. It must know the land is safe and untouched. The offerings will be made. It is my burden and my burden alone. The abbey knows of my aims. Glastonbury seeks my destruction. The chapel was stormed by force. I hide under Anneka's gaze. They will not come here. The ancient well protects me. Heretic, 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 they will scream. My ears will bleed from the torment. I am no witch. This is not the devil's work. It is the work of the knowing and the enlightened. The 7 offerings must be made to the stones." So this is the same person who wrote the couple of journal entries in the cross in the swamp, which we read in part 2. So they're making offerings to the stones. They mentioned Glastonbury here. I've actually been to Glastonbury back in 2012. It's been way too long. And we've got more coins here. And we have a song. Oh, Anneka, Anneka, from the bluest heights descend to our brown, earthy soil. Bring your blessing of sacred water so that we may grow again. And there's a lovely illustration. I think that's everything in here. Yes, that's everything in here, so we can turn around. Now here's the actual well. It says we need something. And we can zoom in on the candles. And we do have matches. Let's light a purple candle for our inner soul. And whatever else Elsie said. In part 1, we read a pamphlet that Elsie wrote that's in the lobby of the cafe service station area, where it talks about the color associations. And purple in my tradition, in my practice, represents the spirit, or all of the other, I almost said animals, all of the other elements coming together. So we have green, for me, usually is earth, and blue is usually water, and red would be fire. But we have some different colors going on here. We have brown, green, I think in the pamphlet said they associate green with water and blue with air for the sky. And then brown becomes the color of earth, and red is fire. So it's a little different. It's different in every tradition, but they do have references throughout the game of what it is for these candles. So even before we get all the rest of the information from the journals and stuff, we actually can go ahead and do something here. And there's enough clues here in Anneka's well, once we have that metal artifact from the cross in the swamp, to go ahead and do a thing. So do you want to do a thing? Let's do a thing. So let's think about the colors here. Let's think about what we just read about Elsie doing this blessed water offering. There's this prayer to Saint Anneka. There's that song to Saint Anneka. And it's all saying she comes from the blue, from the air, and she descends to the ground and to the soil. And that other song said, to the brown, earthy soil, or whatever. So it's referencing the colors. That Anneka goes from the blue sky to the brown earth. So a little bit of a face there. But now what do we do? Egg cups. Who would have thought? They're beautiful stoneware egg cups. Now we collect that. If we go up to the top, it shows up in our top inventory now, and since we have the inventory descriptions on, we can now read, this is a blessed water offering. And Elsie in the journal gave us additional information that this is the offering for the Henrik stone. Fun little additional thing. One of the other entries in the journal said that the name Henry was coming to them. Henrik. Henrik is the one who gets the water offering. So we can figure that out just from what's here. We don't even really need other information for that. But just as a reminder, here it is here, Derek and Sam. Another name forms in my mind. It's Henry. And the water blessing says, Anneka is of the air and descends upon the ground. And then in the pamphlet in the service station, we know that blue is air and the ground is brown, but that is also in the song. So there's multiple places that we can get information in this game. Just in case you miss something, you can still figure things out. Now what? Should we try going to the stone row? Maybe? Again? Ooh, did we already get those? Yeah, we already got those. We already collected some mushrooms. We want to go to the left. here we are again. And we can look at all the stones, and we need something, but we don't have it. So let's just keep going. Okay. This is the first time we've been to the dig site, yeah? Codovia Weekly. Dig controversy. The recent excavations of Barrow Hill have attracted further protest as preparations are made to open the barrow itself. Despite warnings from local environmentalists and people who believe in the many myths, Conrad Morse continues to conduct his investigation. Permission to dig the site had previously been refused. The dig continues to be a first on Barrow Hill, with no evidence of the site being disturbed in antiquity by looters. Conrad Morse believes the many myths, legends, and curses associated with the barrow may have served as a warning to keep would-be treasure thieves away. Continued on page 4. But we don't have page 4. And then there's a little mini thing about mountain cakes. Cake Bake. Upper Witchwood's annual baking contest has once again been won by Dorothy Ellis, infamous for her extraordinary mountain cakes. The funds raised by the event will be donated to the restoration of the old lifeboat station. Yay! Okay, that's just the same thing. Sometimes it looks like you're clicking something else. But you're not. Okay, so there's nothing else in this tent. Yeah, nothing else in the tent. There is a thing here. Cool. Some soil. Wheelbarrow. Can we look over here? No. Can't look there. But there's a trail going this way. We see some stones. Alright. More reading. Who's ready? July 7th. Peter is proving to be an amazing find. His archaeology skills are unmatched in his age group, and the effort he puts into understanding the site are beyond my initial hopes. His recommendations are well earned. Many artifacts have been uncovered. The broken pots, one at the foot of each of the circle stones. I feel I'm on the verge of understanding these ancient offerings, for they were not burials or cremations, as I had first thought. As the site reveals each pot one by one, I feel we get closer to learning their true purpose. July 9th. We have so much work still to do if we are to uncover the purpose of this ancient monument, although I doubt we will ever discover its true nature. We can only hope to uncover clues that will give us snapshots of the past or of the people's way of life. Though we have worked here for some time now, I feel our dig may have only scratched the surface. I was quizzed today by a reporter who visited the dig site. She had with no doubts done her research, and her open-minded curiosity was refreshing. However, she asked if I expected to find any evidence of the Druids. I had to laugh. This fascination in the Druids. There are so few recordings of these people. It is feeble evidence. A few observations by the Roman observer Tacitus does not prove existence. Worse still is the popular fiction featuring invented Druid circles, such as those penned by archaeologist William Stukeley in the early 1700s. Despite his excellent recordings of ancient stone monuments, he did help create and concoct more of the fictional Druid stories that still linger today. I feel our history will be plagued by the myths of the ancient Druid Britons for many years to come. Is that a real person who did actual research? I've never actually looked that one up. But I know that some of the stuff in this game is accurate, some of the stuff is not. Okay, it looks like there's more pages there, but there's nothing else that we can see right there, so let's back up. Let's look it up. William Stukeley, author. English antiquarian, physician, and Anglican clergyman. Significant influence on the later development of archaeology. Pioneered the scholarly investigation of the prehistoric monuments of Stonehenge and Avebury in Wiltshire. So, yeah. Conrad Morse has got opinions. I'm taking so many breaks and doing so many like side quests in this recording so far. It's going to be fun for me to edit this later. All right. Back to the game. All right, so let's look around. Yeah, I know we can look at that, but let's see what else we got over here. Aha! More things to read. July 13th. Why does he search? We have forgotten to offer the proof of our growth, that we haven't forgotten the materials by which we lived, from the land and sea and sky. He pleads with me, a childlike innocence, wonders where they are. Why haven't they shown me the 7 blessings? What can have happened to them? Where are my children? His questions go unanswered, and so he stirs in alarm. He talks to me in my sleep. I hear him breathing. I see the hunt begin. July 15th. Desperately he searches. The stones, they return us to him. They return us to the earth. They nourish as the strength builds. Standing over time, they watch as the centuries go by, as culture and civilization has changed, fallen, and regrown to what we see today. Under our modern name of progress, have we become more ignorant and foolish? His mind searches the land, he sees through others, looks for gifts he left us to guard and to use. Do we remember what he and those like him taught us? August 2nd. We are currently working from the old survey plans. They are sketches by the famed and sadly missing archaeologist Amelia Rumford. Though I do not care to speculate upon her disappearance, I'm grateful for the initial work she had done in putting this site on the academic and archaeological map. As to why she never completed her survey, abandoned her work, and then disappeared, we shall probably never know. Police interest in the case dwindled years ago. Out of curiosity, is Amelia Rumford also a real person? Amelia Rumford is an archaeologist in Doctor Who. Wait! Okay, well, we're saving that too. Okay, I literally never knew that, and I definitely had never seen Doctor Who when I first played this game. I never thought to, like, look up the name, and I didn't remember it. That's so funny. An Easter egg I never even recognized! Alright, so here we have a stone with a handprint on it. I'm not gonna touch it yet, because now is not the time. I don't want to do it. Back up. There's another one of these. I want to look up. I want to see that sky. It looks so beautiful. Oh, well, here we go. We're looking up sort of in this angle. The moon. And there's a hole here. We need a thing. Do we have this thing yet? No. Okay, I know where we need to go. Yeah, because we haven't been to certain areas yet. Ooh, another thing. There are enough local myths to deflect already, so I shall not add to the superstitious speculation. The GPS mapping technology which I brought along to create an accurate map appears to have been a complete waste of money and time. The reception here at Barrow Hill is almost negligible. I do not know what could affect it so. The handheld component appears to work in some locations. Ironically, none of the locations are places I wish to study or care to spend any time. I question at times why I trust myself with these modern gadgets. A good tape measure and a ranging pole will suffice. There's more going on than I can fully grasp. There's a truth in the air which whispers inside my mind. Yet I sense I am missing the vital link. I look, but I do not see. I listen, but I do not hear. A leap of faith is struggling against my academic mind. August 20th. The nights are drawing in and the days become shorter. I've decided that we will need some lighting to help extend our working days. I'm keen to study the stone row again. Its path up the hill is clear. I believe the track has existed for as long as the stone circle, for it leads directly toward the monument. Perhaps it was used in some long-forgotten ceremony, if only we could be sure. I wish I could understand the message. There's something carved upon the stone row that I cannot work out. Engravings are clear to the naked eye, but appear muddled and incomplete. The markings are faded, weathered by time and by nature, yet the meaning of them must be clear to me. What is the purpose? What story will they tell? Alright, so we're planting a little seed that there is something to be learned from the etchings on the stones in the row. Here is the altar stone. We need something for here. We do not have it yet. Okay, so that's that area. Done. This way. Well. Oh. Barrow Hill Stone Circle. This stone circle, constructed circa 2000 BC, is unique in Cornwall. The date of the construction has been estimated. The date is not confirmed. The circle is formed from 7 stones with an outer singular standing stone. Known locally as the Sentry Stone, this marks the entrance to the circle. The barrow at the center of the circle, from which the area takes its name, is likely to be a Bronze Age burial mound. Unlike other circles in Cornwall, no stones have fallen, preserving the look of the monument over the centuries. The stone material used to construct the circle was transported across Cornwall before being erected here at Barrow Hill. The barrow is estimated to originate from the Bronze Age. There is no recorded discovery date for the site. A stone row leads to the circle following an ancient track beginning at St. Anneka's Well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the outer Sentry Stone, which is not here. Because, as we know from the previous parts, if you haven't watched the previous parts of this playthrough, by the way, go back and watch them. A lot of context would be missed. But there's supposed to be another stone here, and it's not here, and we know why, because of the previous part. It'll come up again in this part, too, but just saying. Alright, so in-game navigation weirdness. This is another point where you really have to look at your 90 degrees. Right now, we're in front of nothing, just the opening. If we step forward, we're looking at the second stone. You have to turn left or right, depending on which way you're going around, but you have to turn out to see the actual stone. This one always looked like an owl to me. Looks like an owl. And we need an item. We don't have the item for it. Then you go this way, you click forward, but you actually look like you're going past it. So, each time we click, it looks like we're coming up against... This one is so tall. Pretty sure this is hammerstone. Because it's so tall and it looks like a hammer. Also, here's where they started digging into the barrow itself. Oop. We need a thing. Oh, well, we have a trowel. Yeah. Okay. Thing there that we need stuff for that we don't have. And it just covers itself back up. Anyway, so there's all of the stones. We have to turn to look at them. But we don't have anything. Well, we have this. But I don't remember off the top of my head which one is Henrik. I think it's that one. No, or that's Hammerstone. And that's Henrik. See? Don't remember. So until we go back and look at the stuff that we looked at in part 1, until we go back and check our information and get our notes together, I have never, in any playthrough of this game, I have never, like, purposely attempted to put an offering on the wrong stone. So I don't know what happens if you give the offering to the wrong stone. I imagine it probably, like, burns it up and you have to go collect it again or something. But I don't know. I've honestly never done that. I'm not that kind of person. I don't want to purposely give the wrong offering to a sacred stone. I am not about that life. Okay, now let's go left, because we're trying to go to the... I'm taking the shortcut to the motel. No, I'm not. Okay, I just went around a whole circle. Okay, we go forward until... Okay, fine. We're just taking the track all the way back, I guess. I was trying to take the shortcut over to the motel area, but it said, nope, you will follow the ancient track. Okay, so we've been to Anneka's Well. We've been to the Barrow and the dig site, we will obviously end up going back there again, but I'm updating my notes. So now let us continue. We need to get into the office. We need to get into the other motel room.
No, no, don't see me. Stop looking. I'm not here. No, no, no. Help. Oh no, oh no. Ah!
And then the, like, grate opens? Why? Now we can look in and we can see nothing. I mean, we can see the office. We can see Ben's not there. But this door is locked. He had it locked, so we can't get there. Oh, here. Let me just remind everybody in this little thing here. This is where it said the elements are represented by color. Yellow and brown for earth, green for water, blue for air in this case. So there's the first place that you find some of that information. Okay, here we have our stones again. Let's get a new sticky note. Oh, turns out I do already have the information written down on a sticky note. I thought I didn't, but I do. But we're still gonna look back over everything because that's how this playthrough is gonna work. Like, of course I'm gonna still go and read everything. But anyway, here we see the stones. On this one, it gives their names from left to right. Baligo, Melka, Dolment, Hammerstone, Henrik, Gavrok, Kalyk. So, this is the first stone on the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just gonna double check what I've already written down. Yes. So that's Baligo, Melka, Dolment, Hammerstone. Henrik is the big old tall one. Gavrok, Kalyk. Alright, so Henrik is the big tall one. That's the one that gets the water. But we're not going to do that right this second. Oops. There we go. Office. Okay, we're getting into the office. We're gonna go around the back. Because we heard. We heard a big old crash. The stone just went directly through the wall and the window. And me sitting here eating popcorn about it. Alright, so here we have, first of all, a poster with Emma's whole phone number on it. Of course, all the other areas have her phone number on it that you get to after you already have to find her phone number. Here we have some security footage. We're going into the office. There's another view. Car pulling up. Stone comes around. Let's watch that one again. So that stone moves. That thing is fast, and it just immediately, like, disintegrates people. Alright, here's the door. ahead and unlock that. So that's ready. We can go out that way now. We have a filing cabinet. What's in drawer number 1? About the decorators. The new code for Motel Room 1, while it's being redecorated, I have set the lock to 966 in this case. Again, if you haven't seen the previous... Oops, I didn't mean to get rid of that. My hand hit my mouse trackpad on the laptop. 966. Again, if you have not watched the other previous episodes in this playthrough, I'm not sure why, but just in case, these codes do generate differently each playthrough. So you do have to actually play through and find them each time, because they are different. Please can you let the workmen in when they arrive? Give them a copy of the code so they can come and go as they please. They haven't given an exact time of arrival, but it should be later today. George. Anything else in there? No. What's in drawer number 2? Oop. Made from only the best ingredients. Cairn Glaus? Scotland's finest malt blend. My Scottish isn't the greatest, so Cairn Glaus? Maybe? I'm not sure how to say that. Ingredients: golden barley and pure water. But it's empty. It's an empty bottle. Okay. What's in drawer number 3? Ben bumped into that old fruit machine yesterday, the one in the yard. It rattled away like if there was no tomorrow. I have no idea what's left inside and wondered if you could try breaking it open to find out. Don't think it works anymore anyway. Just don't do it during the night shift. Fruit machine in the yard. Okay. Cool. We have a football. An American football. Wait a minute. Oh, are we... Yeah, we're sitting in the chair. We sat down. That's an American football. Just interesting. Because it's not a rugby ball. No, that's definitely a football. Alright, nothing else we can do there. Nothing there. Oh, we can look at... No, that's just the chair again. Thought it was going to show us the poster. Alright, desk time. Pictures. Fire evacuation emergency protocol. A little bit of a different emergency protocol for this situation, though. We have the schedule, some notes, some stuff, smiley face. Cat. Hello, cat. Whose cat is this? Which dev's cat is this? Is the cat in the credits? Okay, here we have fruity goodness, natural fruit juice, product guide. Blackberry, apple, pear, gooseberry. Not a flavor that I would normally expect. We have work schedules. We have a golf ball. Okay. Calculator. We can win 2 million pounds. Did we win? Reveal 2 or more matching to win. We have 3. Should we call it? Oh, I gotta remember the number though. 0906 40695. 40695.
Welcome to the Scratch Card Winners Hotline. Congratulations, you have won a fabulous prize.
What is it?
Please hold the line and you will be transferred soon to one of our operatives.
No, thank you. But yeah, you can actually call the numbers and there's stuff that happens. You can call these numbers too. The other business cards that are on the boards and stuff. I just don't want to go through all of that. I'll leave that for you. The only words I could actually make out there were ancient power. I don't know about you.
Hi guys, it's Maggie here.
Hi, Maggie.
Are you there? Pick up if you are. I'm afraid I won't be able to make it into work today. I know Carol is away, but I feel really ill. I don't know where I caught this cold. I was fine yesterday. Anyway, I'll try and call you again later.
Alright, Maggie. Yeah, so Maggie's not here today. Batteries. Oh, no, I am not done. What? I am not done. Am I done? Am I done? There we go. No, I was gonna say, I am not done. Paper. Now we have paper and batteries. And now we can go out back. Yay! Stuff down here. Mini casino. We don't have the coins yet. Alright, I'm gonna go get those. I know where those are. Good thing we unlocked this door. We didn't get this yet? Again, so silly. There are certain things that, like, the first time I played this and other times that I played, it doesn't take me this long to get them. Yeah, so here's the code for the first room. We already found this. We need something to get into here. Handy dandy Pete Aston trowel. Coins. Alright. Nope. Wrong door. Nope. Okay, now, coin. Oh, that's what was in the missing spot. Hey! Coins. Different kind of coin. Whoop. Okay, no, nothing. This section. Aha. Lens. It's kind of hard to read that when there's other items. But that is a lens. Here we have a rusty tricycle. There's a poster on the back wall that I would like to see more closely, but I cannot. Tea kettle or coffee. Either way. Those are coffee mugs. That's more of a coffee pot shape, yeah? There's a whole love seat back here. We have a ladder. We can move with the ladder, kind of like with the box. Climbing. Other ladder. Popcorn break. I've been recording for an hour, but that's not an hour of gameplay. Because one, we did an intro, but then I've also taken breaks to look things up and do other things. Like eat popcorn without you having to listen to the entire thing. But for now, back to Barrow Hill, and into the garage we go. Alright, we have climbed. Oh, look at that. We can look down into the garage, the garage. Go in here. Kitty! Here we are. Visit Cornwall. Chess. I don't. That's all we can do. Oil can... Oh! Well, that's how the... We can do something here, but we're not going to yet. I probably just should, but I probably also just should have gone and read the journals first for time's sake. Why can we zoom in on this? Why can we zoom in on that? Do you see anything in that? Because I don't. I'm looking at it in the other monitor too to see if it shows up differently. I don't know why we can zoom in there. I guess just because they want us to see that we can look out all the windows? I don't know. Anyway, okay, and then over here, ladder. Ooh. Creepy crawly. Barrow Hill license plate. Oh, Barrow Hill Motors. That makes more sense. It's like, really? They have a whole license plate situation for Barrow Hill? It makes it kind of seem like a bigger place than it seems to be. Nothing in here. Lots of posters of stuff that I do not understand. Can't really do anything else in here. We can look up there. Cool music. Ah, and then we can unlock this. So now we can get in through the door instead of having to climb up over the roof. There's a gate that goes out that way too, but we can't go there. Alright, now we've been into the office. We got the code for the Motel Room 1, so let's go in there. What is it? 9, 6, 6. Okay, here is paintbrush. Nothing. Clean room. They're remodeling. Nobody's staying in here. Storage. There's also no light on, so if you're having trouble seeing, that's not just you, that is this room. There's no light on in here. Can we turn on a light? No, we've never been able to like turn on a light in the rooms. No, it just is what it is. No jump scares out the window this time. So this is where they're storing a lot of their stuff. Aha, and here we have the handheld unit of the GPS, which now shows up here. There's nothing else in there. But we don't. I don't think we need to do that right now. Okay, so there's nothing else in that room. Surprising. I forget that. Let's go to the mall. No. Let's go to the... We should probably read the rest of the stuff in the journals so that we can start collecting stuff as we go. Because I know the answers to things, but that's no fun for the playthrough. So, our code this time for room 2 was 645. Let's go in here. Pete Aston's journal. We read this, the first few pages in part 1, question mark? Let me just scroll back up in my timestamp notes. Nope, part 2. We did Motel Room 2 and 3 in part 2. So we read the earlier part of this journal in part 2, but we saved this part because it is specifically the information about the trenches. So here we go. July 27th, we have finally begun digging up on the hill. I began the first test pit around the small stone known as Melka. It stands second to the left as you enter the circle by the information board. So the first pit that they dug was by the second stone. This is important. They didn't go in order. Why did they not just go in order? To make it a puzzle you have to figure out in a video game. Clearly, because why else? I don't know. They were just like, that one looks good. Let's start there. So, next to Melka 2, because it's the second stone in my notes, I have the number 1, because it's test pit 1, Melka stone 2 around the circle. The stone is evidently in its original position. I found a small broken pot. After initial study, I packed it up with its contents of soil, ready to send off for further study. What could have been contained inside the pot? We've speculated that the pot is a later addition to the site. It looks too small to have been a burial or cremation. Maybe it was an offering. Conrad has been digging test pit 2 on the exact opposite side of the circle, a stone known as Gavrok. It looks a little like a person with their hands on their hips. In fact, most of the stones look like one thing or another. No wonder there are so many stories about the circle in these parts. So, test pit 2, Gavrok, which, from our other information, Gavrok is the 6th stone around the circle. So I have test pit 2, Gavrok, stone 6 in my notes. Soil conditions here are good for preserving finds. I've dug around the Baligo stone, pit 3 today. Pit 3, Baligo, stone 1. It's the first stone on the left. First stone on the left of the entrance, according to the service station's notice board. It's amazing. A total of 3 pots have been recovered, 1 in front of each stone excavated. So far, 2 are almost intact. The other is broken into fragments. It looks like the pots must have had some ritual significance rather than burial, but what that ritual was may be lost to the corridor of time. July 1st. The weather's been very kind during the day, but the nights have a cold chill about them. When the sun goes down, it plunges this area into total darkness. I've been digging pit 4 around the Dolment stone. Another pot is slowly emerging. I hope to lift it tomorrow to the safety of the finds tray. Pit 4, Dolment. Dolment is stone 3. Conrad has been looking around the outer circle these last few days. He says he's trying to understand the possible purpose of the site. He didn't visit the circle at all today. I saw him sipping away at his hip flask near the altar stone deeper in the woods. July 4th. Conrad has been helping me excavate around the Hammerstone. We dug a larger trench this time, number 5, took further soil samples for analysis. We uncovered another broken pot in the process. That's 5 pots now. Conrad has become a little less chatty. I guess his mind is busy working on ideas. It feels a little lonely here. The staff at the service station are nice but simple. One girl, Maggie, is studying in night school and hopes to go to university. At least she has some ambition to do more than serve chips. Okay, rude, Pete. Side note, rude. There is no need for that. I love chips. And I do mean what I would normally call French fries. But I've had chips. I've had chips in England. They're great. July 5th. No matter how deep I dig, there is still no sign of the Hammerstone's base. Conrad said to leave the trench for now and move on to the Cailleach stone. I've begun trench 6 to the right of the entrance, and next to the stone, locally known as Gavrok. So again, trench 6, Cailleach, stone 7. Last one, all the way on the right. I've backfilled the trench like we did with the others. The site still looks as it did before. Once the turf is replaced, you wouldn't even know we'd been there. Except for the fact that you're taking stuff out of the ground. Anyway, July 6th. Whilst I continue my excavations on the Cailleach stone, Conrad began trench pit 7 around the tallest stone. It stands towards the rear of the circle as you approach the center. I wonder about the origin of the stone's names. Conrad's current excavation is around Henrik, which we are told it is known as. This morning I found a bunch of fern leaves attached to my motel room door. No doubt someone thought it was funny. Actually, it looked quite nice. Fern leaves. That's an interesting detail that I've forgotten about. July 9th. Conrad is working around other areas of the site, leaving me working on the trenches. He asked me additionally to look at the outlying menhir known as the Sentry Stone. He was quite insistent. I've left the other trenches whilst I do that. I have dug deep to what seems to be the base of the Sentry Stone. There were no dramatic finds, unlike the stones in the circle. I think I saw some small charcoal-like lumps in the soil. I've sent a sample to be looked at under the microscope. Conrad has locked himself away in the motel. I assume he had some bad news. He's often writing away in his journal. He's funny. He carries around his PDA and modern gadgets, but scribbles in an old notebook. I guess he can afford to be eccentric. July 15th. This morning we discovered that the trench pits have been refilled. We had lifted the turf, as always, and stacked it, ready to place back. However, this morning all was relayed neatly, almost as if the ground had not been disturbed. Some tools were found broken in the undergrowth. Somebody doesn't want us here and is messing about with the excavation. Conrad has left in his jeep, saying he will return with some remote cameras. They will allow us to watch the site after nightfall. I hope he returns soon. Even in his increasingly reserved state, it's nice to have company. August 2nd. Conrad and I have been busy surveying the outer area yet again. This time, we tried to use his GPS system to plot the shape of the land. I fear the machine is broken as the signal here is erratic. We won't be able to get the digital map Conrad wanted. I'll have to draw up our own plans. August 20th. We've heard from the lab. The report on our dig finds has arrived. I was surprised to read who was working at the other end. I haven't seen Lucy in a long time. If things had been different back then. Memories. Also, there is a little sketch here of a disc with a sort of swirly tripartite design, sort of like a 3 shapes swirling together. Hard to describe verbally. September 5th. Received another letter from Lucy. She hopes to visit Barrow Hill. That would be nice. She'll also get a chance to see the site for herself. I spent a few hours this afternoon visiting our neighbor. The local radio station, BHR, broadcasts from the other side of Barrow Hill. Despite the area being returned to its marsh-like habitat, Miss Harry seems to be making the best of the situation. I think she has plans to run the place as a wetland center. Well, she gave me a bundle of bumper stickers and flyers. I guess I shall have to listen to her show. September 10th. Finally found my journal. Time for a long overdue update. I have no idea why it vanished. Stolen? During the night, the dig equipment was scattered around the area and the tent was half knocked to the ground. There have been protests recently which haven't helped matters. They're doing more damage to the site than our archaeology ever could. George, the manager of the service station, has allowed us to use the empty motel room to store some of our equipment, to protect it. The room has only just been decorated, so I promised that there would be no muddy spades and boots. He sent Ben over to help us move the equipment. Protesters are vandals. September 12th. Rain, rain, rain. I think Conrad's been singing in his room. I've heard some strange sounds at night. Not helped by the blasted wind chimes nearby. Ha! Perhaps he was singing along to them. September 15th. The rain has just let up. The nearby well was overflowing today. I shall have to look up more details about the well and the legend of St. Anneka. Something is inscribed on a slab which is erected outside the entrance, but it isn't clear enough to read. Other wells I've visited have usually developed from a pagan myth or legend, later to be associated with a Christian saint. Wells are often reused ancient religious or pagan sites. And there is a lovely sketch of the well. September 19th. Tomorrow we will begin phase 2 of the dig. We're going to start at first light to give ourselves a longer day. The aim is to authenticate and perhaps date the Barrow itself. Exciting times. This will be the first exploratory trench to open up the mound. Sometimes I wonder if we are doing the right thing, but Conrad's enthusiasm is persuasive. What we find will help us protect the site in the future, but I still feel a strong sense of unease. I'm bound to be busy over the coming weeks. This dig has been an adventure, and phase 2 will take it to a whole new level. In fact, it'll be a level below. There we have Pete Aston's journal. So to recap, if you can see what I've written and read what I've written, kinda not really, it's difficult. Well, I'll copy it up on the screen when I do this in editing, but I have the trenches, the test pits, in the order that they come up in Pete's journal. I have those listed along the left-hand side, numbered 1 through 7, and the names of the stones that he said they were by. and then from the information of which stone is which from the posters in the lobby, I have those numbers written to the right. So it says 1 Melka, 2 in parentheses because it was the first test pit, but it's the second stone, and so on, all for all 7 stones. And the 8th stone is the sentry stone, which is not currently standing in the circle, so that one has to be treated a little bit differently. But also, as you'll see, we don't really have to worry about that one as much because of its different situation. So let's go ahead and go into Motel Room 3. I navigated over here forgetting that this wasn't on the screen. But we're back. We're in front of Motel Room 3 now. Again, if you missed part 2, we've already explored these rooms and seen all the creepy weirdness. Oh, and we've written this down. Here we are in the briefcase. The solution is in part 2. I already read one of these before. Yeah, this one. The material recovered from inside Trench 4 has been analyzed. I read this one in the earlier part, but I didn't actually take the notes. Examples of crushed and complete seeds, large and small, first of which have been identified as belonging to the Quercus tree species. Second, smaller seed types have yet to be identified, but the outer fruiting bodies have stained the surrounding material and seed casing with a red tone, so at present we can only say that they were small red berries. There's also a large mass of fungus spores. The species is also unidentified, but they've come from material which was added at the same time. Okay, so, and this is Trench 4, which was Dolment, and this is the Quercus tree species, seeds, red berries, and fungus spores. From the information that we got from Emma's computer, which I took a screenshot so I can put it back up here, we know that the Quercus tree species is oak, so that would be our acorns that we collected last time. Red berries. We can't see what's in the basket from here. We have to go somewhere else to actually see what we've collected. But acorn, red berries, and a certain type of fungus that is not identified here, but we can figure it out. Now this is the full report from each of the finds trays. We did not read through this before. So here we go. Hydrate. The following details present the preliminary analysis of the soil samples submitted. The samples were those collected from within and around the broken pot fragments recovered at the dig site in trenches 1 through 8. Trench 1 finds tray 1. The inside surface of the pottery fragment is coated with a tar-like black substance. Although this might at first indicate something was burnt inside the pot, the saturation on the soil suggests that the vessel was empty. No, that the vessel was simply filled with oil, the purpose of which we can find no other indication. Burning would have left a detectable magnetic difference in the pottery. Tar-like black oil finds tray 1. Well, we've recently found where that is, and that's why we should have come and read this first, so that we could have just collected it while we were there. But I didn't want to collect it and not have this moment of discovery for you as the listener / viewer. Aren't you glad I didn't collect the oil when we were in the garage? Because now you got to read this and go, oh. And I'm writing that down on my list next to Trench 1, which was the Melka stone. So Melka's offering is oil. Black oil. Like motor oil. Trench 2 finds tray 2. Contents of the beaker fragments found in this trench appear to have been a collection of native fruits. The remaining seeds in the soil indicate the contents would have been a mixture of what appears to be blackberry, gooseberry, and pear. Curiously, there are twice as many blackberry seeds as there are the others, indicating a measuring system in use. Gee, where have we seen blackberry, gooseberry, and pear? Okay, so we've got fruit juice. It's fruit juice in our case, because that's how we're going to find it. Twice as many blackberry as the other. So we get 2 times blackberry to 1 part gooseberry and 1 part pear, and the apple is not needed, but we can get it anyway. Trench 3 finds tray 3. Small, partially charred remains of bone fragment were found within the soil of the pot or beaker. These have been separated from the base soil type and studied. It is thought that they are samples of both Melanogrammus aegelfinus and the Gattidae species. Again, from the information that we found on Emma's computer, which I've taken a screenshot of so we can put it here, we know that these are fish. And that was Trench 3 finds tray 3. That's Baligo, the first stone, as we enter from the left. Oh, there we go. Trench 4 finds tray 4. The paleobotany department is looking at the soil content more closely as it appears to contain a variety of seeds and spores. The report is included as a separate document, and that, in fact, is the other one that we already read, with the oak, the red berries, and fungus. Spores. Trench 5 finds tray 5. This one is for the hammerstone. Below a layer of soil sediment, the pottery contained the compacted remains of seeds. These have been identified under the microscope as Hordeum vulgare, commonly known as barley. So they gave us the answer to this one. This is barley seeds. And where have we seen barley? In the ingredients of the empty bottle of whiskey in the office filing cabinet. But that's an empty bottle. Where else are we going to get whiskey? Well, if you watch the previous parts, numerous things that we read, Pete's journal and Trevor Spencer's journal, one of the protesters, both mentioned that Conrad Morse drinks whiskey, and they were always seeing him sipping on his hip flask of whiskey. There's also a journal entry that says that he lost his flask at some point, and he was looking around for it. So Conrad's hip flask of whiskey is out there somewhere, and that'll be our answer to this one, because that bottle in the office is empty. Trench 6 finds tray 6. A sample contained an unusually high concentration of sodium chloride encrusted around the inside of the uncovered pottery fragments. Sodium chloride, NaCl, is table salt. And if you don't just already happen to know that, that is also information that is found on Emma's computer in the same place where we get the information about the trees and the fish. There's a whole list of scientific names for things in Emma's search history. But that's salt. That's just table salt. The remaining surrounding soil contained the same conditions as the natural baseline material. From this, we deduce that the pot must have contained the aforementioned mineralized substance, meaning that the pot was not made of salt, but there was salt inside it. Yeah. Trench 7 finds tray 7. Nothing was found in the soil sample other than the natural baseline material. The lack of archaeological evidence alongside the fragmented pot sample is unusual. We would expect some disturbance or foreign bodies to have found their way into the soil when the pot was deposited, rather than such clean, pure conditions. The only noticeable difference is that the condition of the pottery indicates that it has been exposed to moisture more so than the other findings. Clean, pure moisture. Sounds like some pure water to me. And we know that already because finds tray 7 was the Henrik stone. And we learned that from Elsie. We already have that offering. Up here, blessed water, super pure water, blessed water for Henrik. Trench 8 finds tray 8. This was for the Sentry stone. Bone fragments and charcoal remains were found amongst the solid soil samples. The magnetic reading of the soil was not coherent with material which had been burnt in situ, suggesting that the remains were added or were drawn into the area, having been combusted elsewhere. We were unable to obtain a date. We were unable to obtain a date from the bone fragments as they were too charred. This may be coherent with ritual activity or funeral practices, though we are unable to determine the nature of the bones, and the mixture of small fragments makes the use of carbon dating useless. So the Sentry stone's offering was burnt, combusted bones and other material. For anybody who has forgotten or for some reason is just joining us for this, we watched the footage, the security footage, from the office of what happened when these people pulled in and the stone went by. They end up as these piles of stuff. And these ones are old, so they're cold. But there's other piles that we've seen. Oh, actually. We didn't turn around and look down in the office. So here's Ben. Ben is the most recent victim of the stone, and we can see still kind of burning. Yeah. Sorry to draw attention to that. But basically, we don't have to collect this. The Sentry Stone is collecting its own offerings. So there's that. We don't have to actually collect this and take it to the circle, because the stone isn't at the circle. So yeah, at least there's that. While we're here, remember, over here, we have table salt, and it zooms in like this, like really telling you.
The ancient land has awoken. Balance must be restored.
And now we can take it, and now it's up here. Salt and water. Love it, love it, love it. What else is in here that we can do? We have to go into the kitchen. I was going to make a joke about the coffee and ask if anybody wanted a coffee offering, but then I decided that's silly. We can zoom in on the clock, which is still busted. We have a bug light. Little buggies flying around. We can turn on this. Oops. We can turn on the stove. Alright, so right here at the end of this very dirty counter is a cutting board and a mortar and pestle. And we can get out our basket. Oh, no, we don't have the berries yet. Okay. So we have our acorn, and we have... Oh, we looked at the berries, but I didn't collect them yet because I was trying not to just do spoilers and, like, yeah. Well, so we have to go get the berries. And we have a few different types of mushrooms here. It doesn't tell us what type of mushroom we need, but there's other information from the game that tells us about mushrooms that kind of leads you in a certain direction. So we can look up the different mushrooms here, and like this sort of helps us know what they look like. But the clue that really did it for me, I'll just show you. Give me a second to navigate around this wall. It's a little hard. So back here at our little pamphlet, there's a little red-capped mushroom in the corner. And then on the back, there's a whole little section about the mystical mushroom dryad slumber. And I read this in an earlier part, and I pointed that out, that like, there's this little mushroom image. Why would that be? Yeah, so the only mushroom that's really mentioned in the game multiple times and pointed out as being, like, special and magical is Dryad Slumber. So, that's the one. Oh. Hello?
I tried to leave. Like you, I tried. After you called. I tried to leave. Something drew me back. Back inside the circle. Every time I try to leave, a barrier in my mind forces me back up the hill. I can't. It's going to get me. It came for me. When she distracted it. Oh my god, poor Wincy. She saved me. turned her into... It turned her to... nothing. Worse than nothing. It was just flesh. Burning flesh. She saved my life. But it's still the hunter. It was watching from the darkness, and it came. It came for me. Why me? Why me? Why me?
Well, Emma, you know, I don't remember if at this point in the game Emma actually has told us this thing. No, we do know this because we read it in her journal on her laptop. So we do know from Emma's journal in her laptop that she took something from the Barrow site. You know, maybe that's why, Emma. Maybe that's why. I'm just gonna zip right back to where I know the general area of where the berries are. Oh, look, right here. Berries! Yeah. So we looked at that in the first part when I was going through and clicking every area. But there we go. Now we have our berries. Oh, let's also, before we go back in the kitchen, let's get our fruit juice. Sorry, navigating this grid, you have to click certain places in a certain way to get there. Because you can't just step up here, you have to walk around. But here's our fruit juice machine. We need some coins. Needed to be the 50p coins. So we can actually buy all of these. We need another coin. Boop. 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 Okay. And we actually don't need to buy more than one of them. And look, now the empty spots in our inventory are all filling up. We have like unlimited 50p coins and unlimited pound coins. Like, we could just keep doing it over and over. It doesn't matter. So we can't step up here, but we can step down. So that's helpful. Oh, also, way at the beginning, one of the first things that we look at is over here. Aqua Sensations, Omega-3 Regeneration, Natural Restoring Hair Tonic. Marine Enhanced. Almost like maybe it contains fish.
The ancient land has awoken. Balance must be restored.
Aqua Sensations. Fish offering. It's fish. Just sort of general fish. I don't know if it's Melanogramus and Gattidae in there, but we got fish. Good enough for the stones, I guess. Now, let's get in here. Oh, basket. Oh. Red berries. This is our magical dryad slumber mushroom, I'm pretty sure. But these ones are my favorite. I just like how they look. Anyway, crush it up. And if it's right, it glows. But then that's just in the mortar. Oh, we have to still get it in our little egg cup.
The ancient land has awoken. Balance must be restored.
And every time you get different, and every time you get different images showing, it shows like the fish. It shows the seeds and the acorns and the fungus. So what is it? Now we've got plant mixture offering is what that one is considered. Over here, you may remember from an earlier part, we found a blender. And we need to measure our juice. 2 parts blackberry, to 1 part gooseberry, 1 part pear, glowing, 0 parts apple. Well, we don't need you, apple.
The ancient land has awoken. Balance must be restored.
Freaking love this game. The first time I played this, I was so psyched about that every time it happened. Every time I'm psyched. We still can't get out this door, huh? Like, we can see the lock, but we never are able to, like, undo that lock. So we can't just, like, shortcut out the back from this way. Alright, what else do we need here? Oh, let me check off what we've got. So we got our fruit juice offering. That's for Gavrok. We got our fish for Beligo. We got plant mixture for Dolment. We have salt and blessed water for Kaliak and Henrik. We need to get the barley. And we need to get the oil. So let's go get the oil. What's the closest way to get there from here? Can't go out the back door, so... sometimes the way we have to click gets really annoying. Oh, through here, through here, through here. So again, as a reminder, golden barley. It's an ingredient in the malt whiskey, but we can't get it from there. It's empty. Oh, Emma.
Something happened tonight. There are forces at work. Maybe I know why. You're real, aren't you? It wasn't you. I realise that.
I think I'm real.
You do know it's following you too. First it watches, and then lures you in. The voices in the mind. Whispers on the wind. Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
What she just said was a rhyme, and I wish I remembered the first part of it. Something, something, something. Then it lures you in.
First it watches, and then lures you in. The voices in the mind. Whispers on the wind.
That's a good little rhyme. I'm gonna, when I edit this, I'm gonna remember what it was. Well, I'm not gonna remember, I'm gonna listen to it, but you know. So I don't know if you just get those, we start getting these calls from Emma, like, every so many offerings we gather. Because I think we got that first phone call after we had 2 of the offerings, and then we just got that other phone call after we got 3 more. I don't know if that's how it's determined, because I'm pretty sure it's not just, like, where you are. It's got to be, like, after a certain amount of something. I don't know. But anyway, let's get back up this little ladder. Back over here. Kitty! Let's get our oil. Boop.
The ancient land has awoken.
Balance must be restored. So cool. So cool. See? So, like, once we know where it is, it doesn't take that long to walk back over here. So, worth it. But yeah, there's, like, nothing else in the garage. Let's go back out. We have to check off the oil from Melka. And yeah, maybe, so what if the stone is watching us too? It's watching us figure this shit out, solve the stuff, and get the stuff that all the other stones want. We're doing the right thing. We're doing the thing that the stones want us to do. Kinda. Sorta. We're doing the thing that needs to be done to restore the balance. I don't know if the stones necessarily want the offerings, because what if the thing that is supposedly, like, slumbering beneath, what if it wants to come out? But that's probably not a good thing. So, yeah, we're doing what needs to be done to restore the balance that has been in place for centuries. Just saying. We need to find the hip flask. Wait a minute. Yeah, hang on. Before we go heading back to the Barrow, we have to get our freaking metal detector. We have batteries now. So we already put this together in the previous part, but we didn't have the batteries. Now it's up here. On. Oops. I missed the path here. Somewhere in here, one of these places, and again, if you do like every single, you click every direction. Aha! Somewhere there's cattails that you can collect. We don't need them, but it's just one of the many things that you can collect. And the first time that I played this, I was doing that. I was looking at every single place. I collected everything because I thought I might need everything. So if we had had that before when we were doing our plant mixture, that would have also come out of our basket in the kitchen, and we would have had that amongst our things to choose from there. But we didn't have it then, but that's okay. Our birdie friends. Our corvid friends. We don't need to go back in there. Oh, there we go. Metal detector going off. Get our handy dandy trowel. Here's a piece of a thing. And a note. He weeps from the earth at the nightmare he sees. Our new version of this world was not part of the pact. In ancient times he was proud of us, and we honored his name, understanding the ways of the land. In his absence, we made offerings to show ourselves as the guardians of the gifts passed down to us over generations. We respected the truth and cared for the territory he so generously guarded, yet we have turned away in ignorance, and he watches us with a vengeful sorrow. Vengeful sorrow. But then we don't keep that. We just put that back on the ground. So it's still... yeah, it still reacts even though we now have the metal thing. Is there anything else over here? That's just dark. I can't see anything there. Go over here. We have a face in the stone. I don't know if you can see that. It looks very dark. Anyway, so in Conrad's journals, he says that he hid a piece of the artifact in the ruins in the swamp. So there's that one. We have an artifact fragment. He said that he hid another one in the service station close by under his watchful gaze, like where he could see it from his room. And he also says that it is at the place where, like the, this is going wild because we're like next to a metal sign. You know. Oh my god! No, I didn't. I didn't click away fast enough. I think that might be like game over if we actually, like, it's not, it doesn't, there is no game over. It doesn't like do that to us. But I've never had that happen right there. I did not expect that at all. The only place that I have ever had that happen is when I would very first would try to go to the stone circle. That actually scared me, y'all. Like, I did not know that was gonna happen. What the fuck? After I just got through saying, like, it's, you know, Oh, because now we have the thing. Maybe. Because now we picked up the thing. But we've been getting all of the offerings and we're trying to do the right thing. Why would it be right there? Like, we're stuck on this side of the map if it doesn't let us go by. Oh my gosh. Actually, though. Actually. Or maybe, like, you have to touch it at some point like that because that's you giving it, like, the bone and flesh offering or something. I don't know, but, like, I wasn't gonna do that this time. I wasn't gonna touch it. Well, now you get to see what happens when you touch it. Anyway. I'm gonna turn that off for now. He said that the, and I could have turned and ran away from it. If I had clicked faster, that wouldn't have happened. I could have just run away from it. But even though it is fast, like, obviously it's choosing to let us get away. But I didn't click fast enough. That's why it trapped us like that. But I was honestly so shocked that it happened because I don't remember it ever reacting at that place, like literally in that area. I've never had that happen, so I was so shocked I didn't click. Anyway, Conrad also said that he hid the other thing in the only place where the GPS actually, like, registers anything, right? Like, everywhere we look, it's a mess. It's not working. Until right here. So what's right here? Oh. There we go. Now we have 2 pieces. And we don't need that anymore for literally anything else. But we will get our metal detector back out. Now we have 2 of the pieces. Do I actually remember where the 3rd piece comes from? Stop the dig. I guess we'll find out. That really scared me. Why are you mad at me at this point in the game? I'm doing so much work to make things better. Oh yeah, we can do this now too. Oh, we can also do the thing at Anneka as well, but honestly, I don't remember if we need it at this point, but we'll do it anyway. Got a drawing. Part of a drawing. Back up. Turn. Step. Turn. It's up here now. Same thing. Where's our crayon? A little more. Back up. Turn. Step. Turn. Zoom. Yeah, and if you just click the paper down here, it still brings up the same one. A little more. Back up. We got something shining through onto the stone. We see the little handprint over here. Again, like if we didn't find the thing or we didn't open the box in Anneka's well to get this clue, there's another way that it gives us this information. Alright, so there's like a wheelbarrow right here. Right, so of course that's going to be going off. Oh, but also, we can zoom in on this dirt pile again, and now that we have the metal detector, it's showing that we can use a tool. Before, it did not show us we could use a tool here. Oh, and there's the flask. Oops. There's his missing flask.
The ancient land has awoken. Balance must be restored.
Barley for Hammerstone. I think now that we don't need the metal detector anymore as well. Let's... Oh, hey, Emma. Oh, yeah, right. That's the last piece. She has it.
What are you doing next? Or are you part of all this? It came for me. It came. There was something out there in the darkness. was it someone? Was it you watching me? Oh my God. It's here. I can see it. It's here. Run!
My mic has been muted ever since Emma called. Oh my goodness. I muted it because I was eating popcorn, and I've been doing so well about remembering to turn it back on. So we put the lens in place. I said we didn't have the thing to do the rest of the thing down there, but the lens is in place. And then we came back up here and we started doing the offerings, and I was basically just describing which one is which and which one are we giving them. And then I just said, if you didn't have the inventory descriptions on, this would be really difficult, because they kind of look different. Like, I can sort of tell that one is reddish, this one is white, it looks like the salt. But otherwise, I feel like it would be really difficult to tell some of the offerings apart. And like I said, I've never given them the wrong offering on purpose or on accident. I've never given them the wrong offering. So I don't know what happens if you, like, lose that offering and you have to go collect it again or what. But I feel like if you didn't have the inventory descriptions on, it would be really difficult. So just to show you where that is, under menu, options, inventory descriptions is off by default, but I turned them on. So there's that. But here we are, we just gave that offering, and now I'm not muted, so you can actually hear me for the rest of this. That helps. Our next stone is Henrik, which is so tall that we cannot see the top of it from this view. Henrik gets the blessed water from St. Anneka's well.
The ancient land has awoken. Balance must be restored.
Sixth stone, Gavrok gets fruit juice.
The ancient land has awoken. Balance must be restored.
And finally, the Kaliak stone, salt.
The ancient land has awoken. Balance must be restored.
I can't get away. I can't get off the hill. The stones surround us. The outer circle ensnares the hill. I've seen it. The darkness is creeping. There's nowhere to hide. I have something. Something I found at the dig site. Something I stole from the trench up in the Barrow.
We
You
know.
Need it. I'm damned. I can't do it. It's after me. It's hunting me. I have to stay hidden. I have to keep moving. Can I trust you? Can I trust us to do the right thing? I will leave it for you. You look like you know what to do. I have my own job. At least save yourself.
What about us looks like we know what to do? Is it the fact that we just did this? We just placed all of the offerings to the other 7 stones, and look how beautiful it looks. And yes, I remembered to unmute this time. Look at how lovely it is! Let's take a screenshot. It's beautiful. Anyway, now, oh looky here. right in our path. There's our third piece. Take it, take it! This damned artifact is yours. I should never have come to this vile Barrow. There's evil here, watching and waiting. I'll distract the hunter as long as I can. Good luck, my friend. Use the artifact wisely, Emma. Now we have the 3 pieces of the artifact, but they need to be put together. We can't just put it on there broken. So that's why we have to go back down here. This is where we were when I muted before. I was just saying. We'll come over here. We put the lens in. We couldn't do anything yet, but now we can because we have all the pieces. 1, 2, 3. There's half of what it said to do. The other half. Very mystical, magical, highly fantastical, beautiful. Okay. Oh, look, and then that stays. The ray of moonlight stays shining on the altar stone. So lovely. Alright. Is there literally anything else that I can think of that we need to do before we finish the game? Probably not. We've done everything else at this point, right? We've even gotten killed by the stone. Oh! Literally, as I clicked that, I realized there is another thing we still haven't done yet. Ugh! I'm appalled. Should I just restart? I'm redoing it. I'm literally redoing it.
Balance must be restored.
Wait, yes, there literally is something else that I want to do. It's not something that we necessarily need to do, but it's one of the only other things that we haven't done. So I literally just replayed the last few steps of that. I reloaded from my last save a few minutes ago because we haven't done the rubbing of the other thing at Anneka's well. Like, we don't really need it at this point, but I don't like the idea of finishing the game without doing something that I know there is to do. So here we are. Now that we have the paper and the crayon, we can do this. It's just another clue to how to get the water blessing, but I don't like not having one of the items. Praise to Saint Anneka, who descended from the skies to ground our wandering spirit and lift our souls. Praise to Saint Anneka. By Anonymous. Now it shows up here. That was an empty spot, and I was about to complete the game, and I didn't like it, so I reloaded it, and I redid the last few offerings and putting the stone together because I wanted to make sure that we had that. And to not include that in the playthrough is silly. Okay, so now we have it. Now I feel comfortable moving on. I think. Is there anything else we don't have? That was the lens that was just used. That was something else that got used. This is our restored artifact now. We have a restored artifact. Okay, I think now we can go ahead and go. I don't want to take too long now, like in case the sentry stone is gonna come and fuck our shit up again. Here we are. Now, there's obviously something to do there, but we're not doing that immediately. Also, we just fell through the ceiling, and yet it's closed above us. Here, should I do it just so you can see? No. If we click this, if we click any of the offerings, it will play the whole offering sequence again. The ancient land has awoken, balance has been restored. It'll play over again. But look at how cool it looks. Doesn't it look awesome? Like the offerings have all been taken downward. Every one of them. And if you clicked on it, it would show you all the different ones. Here. Wait, what? You can actually just portal back up here? I don't think I've ever done that before. Whoa, what? I literally don't think I've ever tried to do that before. You can actually go up there? I thought it was just like, oop, it's blocked. Wow, okay, good to know. You can portal back up. Why would you want to? Maybe if, like me, you got down here and then realized you had forgotten to get the rubbing from St. Anneka's well, but I never would have thought, because I didn't know you could get back out of here from this point. Yeah, I don't know. I like clicking around and looking at all of the things. That's all of them. Probably we've gone around. Yeah. Oh. Oh, that's where we fell through. Okay. You just can't see it from where you're standing before. Well, there we go. There we have the proof. And here, of course, is where our restored artifact goes. Beligo, Melka, Dolment, Hammerstone, Henrik, Gavrok, Kaliak, and the Sentry Stone.
I don't fully know what happened here on Barrow Hill tonight. Something awoke and in one moment vanished. Something ancient lay slumbering, forgotten, watching and waiting. Something we neglected to remember, to respect. I know it sounds completely crazy. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry I couldn't help you. That I wasn't there. Understand? I have to stay here. If this has been anything but a nightmare, and we don't wake up safe in our beds, if we don't heal the wounds, it will come again. Keep a lookout into the darkness. It's well past the witching hour and time for me to sign off. So, until BHR comes back on the air, this has been Emma Harry, hoping you have a well-earned rest for the lingering night.
There we have it. So once you get to getting the offerings, everything goes pretty quickly. I am going to let the credits play through. I always sit and watch the credits after a movie as well when I'm in theaters. Just like when you go to see a play or a musical, you sit there and you clap through all of curtain call. You applaud for everybody. As a theater person, it's incredibly rude to leave before curtain call. Plus, they have these little extra panoramic animations here. Also, we see that Emma Harry played Emma Harry. Emma Harry is a real person. There's a Ben Kendall. So Ben Kendall. Oh, Francis Prestige did the radio horoscopes. We got Maggie Willis, played by Chrissy Ryan. Conrad Morse, played by Matt Clark. Scratch Card Hotline by Patricia Clark. See, we called that hotline, so we heard Patricia's work. We did not call the Edward Briss answer phone. We did not call the Babs Cabs. I have in the past, but we did not in this playthrough. Sorry to those voice actors. We did not experience those. Charlie Clown. Antiques Adventureland. Oh, advertisements on the radio. So we heard some of these, but not all of them. There's so much stuff in the game that, like, unless you're actually listening to all the things and calling all the numbers, you don't even get to hear them. But they did it! Ginger toothpaste. So yeah, I don't know how many times I've played this game, but there were still things that surprised me. There are things that are different. Oh, Richard Clark, the Offerings voice. Incredible, incredible. Location filming, time-lapse filming, so much went into this. I'm so excited to play part 2. So excited. I do actually own a physical copy of this disc. Like, the original way that I played it is from an actual CD. Now I have it on Steam because my CD is no longer compatible. Independently produced adventure game by Matt Clark. Shadow Tor Studios. Matt Clark. One of my favorite games ever. So excited to play the sequel for the first time after this. But yeah. There were still jump scares that I don't remember from before, that I'd never gotten before. Like, so fun. So fun. So, let's go ahead and fade the audio out on that one. Good night to Barrow Hill. And good night to me, honestly. It is early. It's late. Depending on how you look at it, it's almost 3 a.m., almost the witching hour here. I've been recording for a little over 2 hours, but I'm just so excited that I actually got a chance to record tonight. I was not expecting to have this time to record, so very exciting. Thank you all for watching and listening along with my Barrow Hill playthrough of Barrow Hill Curse of the Ancient Circle. We will be playing at some point, now that I have finished recording this full playthrough, we will be playing Barrow Hill 2, or Barrow Hill The Dark Path, for the first time. And that game came out in 2016, 10 years after Barrow Hill in 2006, and The Dark Path actually takes place in the same area, same universe, same storyline, progressed 10 years. So we're going to come back to Barrow Hill 10 years later and see what's going on. I'm so excited. Very, very excited. Thank you all for watching and or listening to this video and this series. And it'll all be in a playlist, part 1, 2, and 3 of Barrow Hill 1, and then however many parts it takes us to play through The Dark Path for the first time. I don't know. The first time I played Barrow Hill, this one, it took me 10 hours. So we'll see. But I'm going to put it all into one playlist, so you'll be able to see all of my Barrow Hill videos all in one place. I will see you next time. Until then, don't forget to be awesome. Blessed be. The balance has been restored. And goodbye.